What up, guys? This is Casey is Raw again, and today this is gonna start a new series. This is kind of a spin-off of video game hunting. This is just flea marketing with Casey is Raw. This is just exclusive flea market stuff now. I think you guys would get a kick when I go look around, have a walkthrough footage, see what you guys can see, what I pretty much would see. I'll try to, scan around a little bit better. But until I get some spy glasses or something that actually is worth using, so you can actually see what I'm seeing, I think that'd be way better than the tactic I would use is a button-up shirt with the phone in the pocket. Luckily, with the new app I use for editing, will actually let me fix the issues, like if I had any tilt issues, I can focus on more area than, like, sometimes when I go in vintage stock, it'll have a lot of ceiling, so I can cut out the ceiling and focus more of what I'm looking at. So I do like this new app I'm using, but even though, the Rose is complaining about me putting too many GIFs, I can understand the GIFs, but as pictures, when I do rare gameplays and stuff like that, I like to show you what's, as of today, as 2023, and obviously back in 2022, what the prices was going for. What's funny, if you go back to looking at prices 10 years ago, 11 years ago, a lot of these games to today's prices, you're like, why did I not pick this up? Because at that time, those prices was the ongoing rates. And I was watching this one to you that recently. He talks about how Earthbound was going for 400. Maybe with the box, yes, but for the longest time, Earthbound was going for $200. And then just pre-pandemic, it actually finally dropped to $150. And I was about to pop on it until the pandemic happened and just drove those prices up and to crazy. Now, if you have a box complete, I think Earthbound is $1,000. I think the box is what's, obviously the box is going to be more rare. I mean, the box, the manuals, and all the stuff that's supposed to be inside there, it's going to be more rare again than the game, obviously. But and what's cool about price charting, you can also check what the prices were from 2008 and since then. Because about 2008 is when people were starting to figure out, well, video game collectors are starting to figure out, these games are actually worth some more money. And then that's when, eBay obviously was getting popular. And I would use, for me, as eBaying for me is, I would do that in spurts. Like, I'll buy a bunch of things, like if I get a console, and it's very impossible to get those games. Like something like the Philips CDI, you just don't come across that anywhere. Even at the local video game store, retro video game store, I mean, that you're not gonna easily find like Philips CDI, unless you live in Philadelphia and you go to the Classic Game Junkie, then that's completely different. They have some stuff that you never see. Like, dude, I seen the Nintendo TV, I think the Sharp Nintendo TV that the gaming historian showed. I seen, my first time I ever seen is the RCA Studio 2 that I've been talking about a lot lately. First time I ever seen was at the Classic Game Junkie. When I finally was first exposed to the gold Famicom Punch-Out cart was at the Classic Game Junkie. And there's some stuff I was like, oh, and the first time I ever seen a box and loose was that Xbox game where it had this giant controller. I mean, it's a mech game, but you had 3 panels of controls. God, I can't really think what's called, but they had one loose and one in the box. And that is a very uncommon to come by nowadays. And they had Philips CDI stuff when I was there. It's just crazy what stuff you would find there. Like I'm telling you, if you're in the southern New York, if you're in New Jersey, and honestly the east side of Pennsylvania, I highly suggest you guys check out the Classic Game Junkie. It's a small little store, but it's amazing what they have in there. And they're great people. I'll tell you one of the stories, like when I didn't talk to Frankie that often. I think Frankie is the owner. I would always run into his father all the time, and his father is just a character and a half. Great guy. And I met his mom, and his mom's great as well. There was one point I know I was buying the TurboGrafx card covers. They had a whole stash of them. I think it was $1 a piece, or $1, or maybe $2 a sleeve. It was something like that. I was like, give me all of them, because I had that huge stack of TurboGrafx games that I got at Easton Exchange. And I remember it was the last time I went up there. It was just before I wanted one more hurrah, like going to Wind Gap and go to the Wind Gap flea markets. I used to go to the flea markets just outside outside Lehigh, Pennsylvania, and then I would hit Wind Gap, their flea market, and they actually had 2 buildings filled of stuff that I found a ton. And then they have an outdoor flea market, especially during the spring and summertime, and probably fall. But and then after that, if me and my late wife, or me and her brother would go to Philly, just outside Philly, go to the Classic Game Junkie. That was our round. We would finally be done about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We would waste about 5 hours of flea marketing and video game hunting. And I miss those flea markets because I always found something that's one of those places. And some days I was red hot finding everything I wanted. And then sometimes I would strike out. And that's kind of how it is now, but when I do the vintage stocks, and vintage stocks is pretty much my main place I go, because that's where all the stuff is usually going to be. We used to have Game Exchange in my area, but vintage stocks ran those company Game Exchange out of the area. So now I literally had to drive to like Claremore or Bartersville just to even go to a Game Exchange, because vintage stock is not in those areas, and Games Exchange runs those areas. But and then I would hit this flea market that I'm heading towards right now. What's interesting, there's a guy on YouTube who mainly does a bunch of shorts. He'll talk about something for a minute and then gets a lot of views, but I realized, like, hold on, he goes to the same store to the flea market as I do. I would love to say, hey, tell him, hey, I'm sub to your channel. I follow when you go to the same flea market. It's like, hey, maybe we could trade secrets. And like, hey, he probably knows everything. He probably been here a lot longer since I came back, so he probably knows a little bit more of the better areas. And I would love to every once in a while I would venture out because I get bored of my local areas. But I still would like to find something that's like, oh, I did not know this is here. And every once in a while, they'll have a store popped up. I don't know if I'm going to go to the ghetto flea market. You can almost say the one I'm heading to is kind of ghetto-ish, but I've considered this is now one of the better flea markets in the area. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get right behind this cop. Even though I'm thinking what I'm doing is completely legal. Because it's not like I'm watching the TV, not watching the phone. I'm literally just driving and talking. And that's completely legal. It's not like I'm watching a video or anything. And a lot of times, even when I have a YouTube stream, I'll have it down in the console, because I don't want the cop says, oh, you're watching this while you're driving. I'll be like, I can see where you're coming from, but I'm actually just listening to it. Dude, there's cops crawling everywhere today. Could you trust a hotel room when it's $26 an up price for the night? I don't know if I could trust that place and not catch, like, bed bugs. But, like, yeah, I want to try to get together with that one dude, you know, tell him, it's like, hey, let's see if we can trade secrets. If not, I mean, cool. I mean, I'll tell him, hey, I like your work. Oh, there's a school of, or it's a gaggle of geese, and they were crossing the road. I think that's what they call it, a gaggle of geese. Isn't that what, or at least a class of geese? But, Yeah, I'd like to meet up with someone who's like a video game collector like I am as well. But the guy apparently does very well on his shorts. I can see why people like them because, hey, you can watch like a 30-second video and get to the point. For me, I feel like if I don't have at least 15 minutes in the video, I don't care if it's video game related or if I'm going video game hunting, I feel I'm screwing the viewer out of of the content. That's how I feel, and that's why I like to, add a bunch of stuff, like highlight something I'm bringing up. Hence, when the Rose is saying, "Oh, he hates all the gifts I would drop," he says a child is editing it. I don't know if it's that is the gifts he's complaining, just that, or because I would usually, like I said, I would show a picture of something so I can show an example or something. And I like it because with the new app, I'm able to do that and have picture in picture. Like I can put like a video going on, but I can understand it looking too animated, but I should been going to this urban pond, but it looks like they're not open during the weekends. They're closed Monday, Saturday, and Sunday, apparently. They finally, recently, they just added bike lanes. I mean, at least they're not going to block the road. I still think that's what a freaking sidewalk is for. I mean, I don't care what the cop says or the law says. I mean, if you ask me, a sidewalk is made not only for... There's people walking in the fucking bike lane, and there's a sidewalk. What the hell? See, you give them an inch, they take a freaking mile. But I know I'm just raging now. So, yeah, I'm going to use the same tactic that I use going into game stores to going into flea markets. I know I want to hit this, and I probably will do, is I'll go to the video game store off camera. Unless I might take pictures and use it for future footage. But I wouldn't, because right now, I'm in the middle of editing video game hunting. So, I just want to show you guys what I see when I go around to the flea market instead of just flashing pictures. I mean, I'm sure those are okay, but I think if you had some interacting, I think you guys would like that. I think Pat the NES Punk does it great, but he also wants to make it even more professional, where he makes it cleaner, and he does some narrating behind it. So he does it very well. I mean, he's the originator of flea market on YouTube. I mean, yes, you have the game chasers, but they don't just go to flea markets. They go flea markets, game stores, garage sales, and yes, people ask me, why don't you do garage sales? And I definitely should be doing that, but Oh my gosh, the flea market is packed. I never see it this packed before. It's hopping right now. So I'm gonna probably turn around and try to take another shot at this. Turn around here. But, yeah, what I'm going to try to do is get some good footage for you guys. Hopefully, you know. These are not bad houses. Some of these houses are really old school, but they have bricks. Yeah, they're definitely real old school houses. They're definitely not made in the 90s. I wouldn't even say 80s. I'd say probably they're in the 60s or 70s, quite frankly. They're tiny little houses, but they're also nice little brick houses. So, I'm pretty much back at the flea market. I made a U-turn around it. Oh man, they had a really big garage. At this flea market, they actually used to be a car dealership. But you can see where, I can see where the garage is and everything. And it's obvious what it used to be. Because, I mean, if you think this is like a normal store, like, you would be wrong. It's shaped like an old style car dealership. But I'm at the first flea market. So I'll be back, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'll throw those over here too. Throw those over here too. No, I'm just seeing the score. Oh, okay. Okay. I just saw NFL on, so I was like, Oh, sorry. So I just got out of the first flea market for the day, and it was successful. I got a bunch of cool stuff. So, I'm trying to make sure I don't dox where I work. But, what I'm going to do is I was originally just going to go to the game store. I still got a little time that I could go to the game store, but I'm going to head to the very ghetto flea market, just one street over. And believe me, I recorded the area before, so you can see what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so we're heading towards the second flea market. There's actually a real good flea market to the left. It says Antique Mall. That's actually pretty good, but I only go there every once in a while. Like, maybe once a month. Because they usually don't have anything new all the time. But I do, like I said, hit it once a month. So, you a-hole. But, so I'm gonna hit the ghetto area. I know exactly where that video game vendor is. So I'm gonna hit that, and I'm gonna go to the game store, and I'm probably gonna be wrapping up. Maybe I'll hit. I was thinking to go to Jinx, but maybe that'll be a different episode, because I could do that Sunday though too. I don't know. But as a day, I'm gonna hit this flea market, call it, and get the footage inside. And then we're gonna wrap up at the game store. Last time I went here was a few months ago, and I was like, I'm never coming back. And I figured, you know what? I'm gonna break my word about that. I'm gonna give the guy another shot and see what he got. He has stuff that's super overpriced. Sorry about the view. I'm canceled now for that one. Someone has a late 90s Camaro. I kind of like him. And I like them a hell of a lot better than the 80s Camaro, 80s Mustang. 80s Mustang looked like a normal car, just sportish looking, until they went into the 90s. Then they made it look a little bit more sporty. And obviously in the 2000s, they returned to the retro looking. And that's why nowadays we have those modern retro looking cars like the Challengers and the Chargers and the Camaros. So now we're heading to the real bad area of town. Especially when you could see tires. You see tires placed like a million different spots. Like I just saw one. We'll count them. I saw one. I really need to go to the welding supply. That's one thing I need to do. Garage usually would do tires. I probably would let that one go. Goodyear's. Bam, there's two. Let's see. Like I said, if you could see like a bunch of tires place, you pretty much heading to the ghetto. And it's a bunch of used car lots. And it actually has some. And you got Napa right there. I'm going to say that doesn't count because it's Napa. And Vance Auto Place. And then you got O'Reilly's down there as well. Napa actually has the better looking store. I think they consider this Little Mexico where we're at. Best budget in. Probably correct. Budget. Key is the key word, I would say. I wonder how this restaurant to my right, you guys don't really see it. It says Heroes, Subs, and more. Sometimes those ones in the hole in the walls usually the better places to eat. I am getting a little hungry. Let's see what we got here. Looks to the left, you kind of have like an old courthouse. Now it's a AT&T building. Wow. Someone took a Long John Silver's and made it a tire shop. So that's 3. There's 4. Getting hungry though. And there's the liquor shop, so that's not a good sign. Coney Islander. You know what? Recently I ate some of their hot dogs. It's like they have really tiny hot dogs, and they weren't really worth the money I paid. I think I got 3 tiny hot dogs, the chili conies, and they were not that good. And by the way, we have number 5 to the left. And you got Captain D's. I mean, sometimes, freaking seafood wouldn't sound too bad right now. Getting a little hungry. Oh, I see number 6 to the left. Oh, and number 7 right beside it. Well, I mean, not exactly right beside it, but a couple stores down. Then you have Mickey D's on one side, you got Burger King on the other. Oh, got my back. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's the real good old... You would see some seedy people, too. Coming up when you go there. And I'm not just saying a certain race or anything. It's just... It's a bunch of seedy people. Shady people. There's... the strip joint, the landing strip, and right beside the landing strip. Across the road is a Walmart. Alright, so I think this is number 7 or 8. I'm going to say 8, 9. This is when they really starting to stack, I believe. 10 down there. And what sucks at this flea market, you got a flea market on the right, and there was a good one to the left, but that has shot down. Number 10 to the left, I believe. So I'm not sure, it's at least 9 I saw. So now we're heading into this one right here. This is the very shady area. But it's pretty cool though too at the same time. This whole thing is one giant flea market. It's long. It's like a old strip joint. I mean a strip joint, a strip mall. You see, it goes on forever. Because it does. You could literally go through this whole thing, go in and out, in and out, in and out. And then they have outdoor vendors, and a lot of the outdoor vendors are not here today. So I'm gonna hit this one video game vendors, and I'm done for the flea market. So I'll be back. more in the retro. Yeah. Yeah, see that. Thank you guys. Oh wow, those sizes. So obviously, you guys, if you've seen that footage of me being in here, apparently that video game seller is no longer there, and it looked like their location they had was they took it and they split it in half now. So that guy was no longer there. Probably made hardly any money. Probably saved more money doing outside vendors. But, I mean, I used to don't mind doing outside vendors. But, and sadly, the flea market admiral right coming to my left is no longer there. And I literally walked pretty much the whole thing. Up and down, and like I said, seedy people. Reeked of marijuana in several spots. I went out. I know for sure they had some spots of someone selling marijuana stuff. And this guy just literally just cut in partially in my lane just to say, hey, I'm an asshole. But the first flea market I did good, so I'm happy about that. So what I'm gonna do, it's 2 hours before the video game store closes. I'm gonna go hit that, and I'll show you guys what I got today. And unless I go to the next one, I mean to the flea market, another one, I'll probably be done. But like I said, I'm gonna go to the video game store. It doesn't shock me that that guy left because, well, I mean, he had the same stuff over and over and over every time I was there, and it was all overpriced. So, I mean, to me, it wasn't shocking that he didn't do any good. So, as the first episode of Flea Market with Casey Israel was not bad. Not saying I'm not gonna do when I do video game hunting, that I'm gonna not add flea marketing footage. Well, I'm back in the same area where all the geeses were. Well, now they're in the middle between one set of lanes and the other, right in the middle of the grassy area. So, it was successful. I got some cool stuff. Can't wait to show you guys. And I'll probably, after this, actually, I'll probably go live and show off the whole thing. Double dip, like the road says, I'm the double dip. Because why not? I mean, get as much viewership as I can out what I can do. As right now, currently, I'm actually uploading part 2 of Mega Man 2 footage. I actually did the best I ever done on Mega Man 2 now. I re-beaten Heat Man, and I think is Crash Man again. Getting to Wily's castle. And now I'm heading to, did a couple stages in Wily's castle that, I mean, I played it the Wily's castle, but I always fail when it's the flying dragon, because those bricks are the bane of my existence. But I finally got past that area, and actually took a little bit more time. I got past the next level, and the third one got me. But I enjoyed it. I might do some research. I say that, then I'll totally forget this, but I might want to do research so I can officially beat Mega Man 2. But, yes, I will consider this as a successful flea marketing. And it's not, obviously, I'm not going to have as many episodes of Flea marketing with Casey as Raw as I do with just normal video game hunting, because I'm going to be hitting the vintage stocks and, what else? Not only the vintage stocks, also the video game stores. To me, that's not flea marketing. So, but I had a blast. I had some fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed watching today's video and pilot of flea marketing. I wanted to say flea market madness, but that's, like I said, that's Pat the NES Punk gimmick. And actually, he's stopped recording, I think he stopped recording it 5 years ago, and he has so much footage that he's, just trickling it in every once in a while. But I had a blast. So, I'll see you guys when I get home, show you guys the stuff, and then I'm going to go live to double dip the items. So, unless I see something else, I'll see you guys at the house. See ya. Alright guys, so hours and hours later, I finally got back home around 5-ish, and now it's a little over midnight. I've been relaxing, editing my video game hunting episode that I got up and ready for the next morning, and just been watching 60 Days In. The new season of season 7, and now I finally decided to do it. If I have a cough, you guys know lately I've been having a chest cold. Every once in a while it happens, and I had to actually jump to a gas station and get some daytime, and I might maybe take a sip here and there, but let me show you some of the stuff I picked up first at the flea market that I did actually get something at. For $5, I picked up Mortal Kombat 10 for the PS4. This is pretty good shape. There's a smudge, but you can fix that. Usually the Blu-rays, you don't really have to worry about scratches. I didn't pick, but this is Gears of War 1 for the 360. And I think I just saw... No, I got Gears of... It might work. That one... Let's see. Trying to see which one disc this is. Okay, so the first one is the actual game. The other one is the bonus disc. So, I'm going to take a quick look to see. I'm pretty sure I don't have Mortal Kombat 4. 10 for PS4, I meant. Just taking a quick look, see if I have Gears of War. I see 3, like I said. Oh, I do, kind of. I had the Gears of War triple pack. It has 1, 2, and Gears of War 2 all fronts. So, whatever, $5. I think I might hold. Here's the triple pack I was talking about right there. So I'm up in the air. This was only $5, so I might just go ahead and say screw it and keep it. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. At least I got Gears 1, 2, and 3. And let's see what's at the same flea market. This is not video game related, but it's flea market related. I picked a couple of these prior, but I found more of these cheap, $1 a piece, is these CED video discs. So what CED is like a laser disc. And what you do, you take one of these, you put it into the player, and the disc comes out, and it comes out with an empty disc tray. And when you're done, you put it back in. And well, actually, if you want, you put it in there, and it comes and slides in there. But if you need to change sides, you have to do that, and then do it like that. So this one is Barry Manilow. Copyright on this, there's 2 copyrights. There's one of 1977 and 1982. So this probably was made the same year I was born. So this is at least 40 years old. And these are $1 a piece, by the way. This one is Disney Cartoon Parade, Donald Ducks and Kids is Kids, Volume 3, Goofy's Salute to Father. I love the artwork. That's one of the other reasons, too. It's like vinyl cases, just hard case copies. Oh, nice. So, I'll put this aside. For $1 as well, you got the Nutcracker. Obviously related to Christmas. '81, so this is actually older than me. Let's go back to the other one. God, it's so old. And so faded. It's really hard to read the writing. And plus it's kind of worn away. I can't even really see the year on it. So this is the 7-Year Itch with Marilyn Manson. No, Marilyn Monroe, I mean. How old is this? This is 81. So another one a year before my birthday. And this one is called Something Like It's Hot, with Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. This came out in '82. And for $2, I actually picked up my first laser disc. This is God. That's some opera. It's like Adonium. Oh. Adonium. Oh. I'm actually older than this because this says November 6th of 1982. Let's see how the laser disc looks like. Oh, it opens up like a book. It comes with some type of a manual, I guess. And I can see the laser disc. Mm. Oh, it comes with 2 laser discs. I'll show you what a laser disc looks like for you youngins. Trying to pull it out here. I'm trying to be careful, even though I don't have a laser disc. What it is a giant size CD. So it's a size of a record. That's what a laser disc is. And actually, it's a large version of DVD. The problem is DVD can hold more memory because this thing has 2 discs, and you also use both sides. So if you want to watch this thing, you had to change the disc. Well, I guess you had to put it in there once, and then you had to change it 3 more times to watch the rest of them. So that is pretty badass. You can see the reflection too. So that's pretty badass. For $2, $1 a piece for a laser disc, that's pretty freaking badass. They actually had several more, but there wasn't anything really good. Like, I bought all those cheap dollar CDs. Trying to be super careful, even though, like I said, I don't have a laser disc player. I would love to have one. It was cool. There was a flea market that I used to used to go to in Lehigh, Pennsylvania. They had a bunch of laser discs. I don't know if they ever had a laser disc player, but they had a bunch of laser disc videos and cases, and I always wanted to get some, but sadly, I think it was a couple years prior we moving to another apartment in Pennsylvania that flea market shut down. They had one part, like the front part was more of the flea market, and the back part was for the auction. So and it was cool to go to the auction because me and my wife, I know we won some stuff at that auction. So that's what I picked up at the flea market. But I did go to the game store afterwards. I can show you guys this now. I mean, why not? So, yeah, like I said, I went to the game store, and the game store was just packed. And they had, these kids just kind of holding the place hostage. Well, I mean, holding the only person working the front hostage. They were, asking a billion things about a couple Game Boys and the Game Boy Advance, and asking a million questions. And then they eventually picked up a Game Boy Color, and the kid almost didn't have the money. And then he was like, oh, here we go. It took fucking forever. But they had a Neo Geo box, console box. I knew the price was going to be very expensive, and I was like, I'm just curious how much. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to get it. I mean, if it was $100, I probably would have pulled on it. I mean, not immediately. I probably waited till Monday. But hold on to your britches. I'm gonna show you guys the price of how much that goes for. I mean, on price charting, but what he told me just for the box, for the Neo Geo box, was $250. I think I remember when I picked up my Neo Geo AES, it came with the console, and I'm not even sure it came with the power adapter, and maybe came with the power cord. I mean, not the power cord, the AV cable, but and it came with one controller, $375. I believe it goes for over 500 now for a Neo Geo 8. Yes, and you can thank the pandemic for that. So when I was also thinking about picking up this stage of it was a box like steps from the Super Mario Bros. Amiibo stand, so you can put your amiibos on each of the step. And I was thinking about doing that. They had it for $17. I was thinking about it. Then I was like, I might not. I don't know. But then I looked around, picked up another PS4 game for $10. I got the Crash Trilogy on PS4. Just making sure. Shit happens. And then for $5 a piece, I got a couple Sega Saturn games. Japanese. I got boxing. And I'll show you what the graphics look like. They're not great. I should do a review on that. And then this one was like $5. I didn't even really look even on the back. I was like $5 for a Sega Saturn game? Japanese? It looks like a RPG type game. I'll show you. And here's how you know. Well, let's say they had the title in English and you don't know if this is Japanese. If it has this bronze looking logo, this bronze looking spine with this type of logo with the Saturn S like that in the middle, then this is the Japanese version. I mean, obviously you're gonna tell this is Japanese with the title, but I'm just giving you a point about that. But yeah, that was that. So I figured to, like I said before in the video game, no, I mean when I was flea marketing in the car, I'm the double dip, and I'll show this stuff on live, my live pickups, because I not only got this stuff and that over there. Oh, forgot about the Gears of War 3 over there. But I'll also pull out the 4 Wii U games I got this weekend. I mean, this past week. So, I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.